Alright guys, before we actually change exhaust setups, I am going to try these copper gaskets. I haven't ran these yet. Got them right from Sanders Headers. They are meant for the headers, for the exhaust, and I guess I've been buying crappy gaskets, so I'm going to try these out. Hopefully these work, but I'm going to give it one more shot with these before I actually change up to 3-inch exhaust. If this doesn't work, I'm just going for it, cutting it all off, putting V-bands on. I'm not gonna get too picky with it, but this is the gasket going on the flange here. And this one's actually good, but the gap here, sometimes these will bend up from just the bolts getting tightened and then pulling together. I am gonna clean up the surface here, make them real nice, make sure these sit as flat as possible in there. Hopefully these work well. They weren't cheap. They're about 50 bucks shipped to the house, so hopefully they'll be good. I'm gonna try them out and wish for the best. Alright, there's a little section on this muffler when I added it that I wasn't able to weld underneath, so I quick zapped this up. And now we're going to throw this thing in there and pray that the gaskets work. I ended up cleaning up these surfaces a little bit. There was just some corrosion and all that on there. So I cleaned those up. Hopefully those will seal up this time. I got new bolts to go in it, and we'll throw it onto the truck. Alright, the bolts that I found to replace the old ones are grade 8. I got them from Home Depot and I couldn't find any lock nuts that are oval shaped like this one. So I've been putting them in the press and punching them down until they're just barely oval like that, and then thread them onto the bolts so they don't come loose. Throw them in the press, push them down just a little bit until I start seeing them move, because they spring back a little bit. That one looks pretty alright. We'll take that guy out. Kind of sucks they didn't have any of these nuts at Home Depot. They just had the nylon ones, and obviously those won't work well for exhaust stuff. And then I've been threading these bolts in just a little bit because I don't want to mess with it under the Jeep. And then working them into the nut. And they definitely shouldn't come loose under the Jeep. I just hope it'll be easy to thread them on under there, but that's all I've been doing with the nuts and bolts for the exhaust, and then should be able to get them started and then thread them right in there, no problem. Alright guys, got the exhaust in, had to end up dropping the cross member. I got too excited and threw the cross member up. So we dropped the cross member, slid the exhaust in, cross member's back up now. And I wanted to show you guys how my collector bolts are under here and how much of a pain they are to actually get to. So here is the passenger side. These are the new bolts. I still got my wrench up here, but I hate how these transmission lines are so close to the exhaust. I really should route them maybe under here more along the frame rail and then up. But these are the factory Silverado transmission lines that are from the trans. Then they come up and then they splice into my trans cooler. So that's how I was able to do that. And then, but like I said, I don't like how that's all set up there. But this is what I'm working with for bolt wise. I got the new gaskets in there. Gotta tighten the bolts yet. And then of course, there's one more bolt way up top somewhere. On this side's a lot nicer to work with. This is the driver's side. Super easy. Just basically comes down in a straight shot. It bunks towards the block a little bit, but not too bad. So this side will go in real easy. The other side's just a pain. And then obviously it comes down and then to the Y pipe, to the cross member, and then bolts up back there. It's not quite set, so it's a little close to the drive shaft and just resting on the cross member. But once we get it all tightened back up, it'll be good to go. This side's not bad. This side will be a piece of cake. The other side's kind of a pain. Throwing some air in the tires, and then we'll back this thing out, and I think we're gonna take it up the mountain. I threw some transmission fluid in the transfer case. We got the exhaust all bolted back up and should be ready to rock. We're gonna test it out here in a couple minutes. First test drive. I don't even know where we're going, to be honest with you. Oh shit. Spilled my beer. We're spinning. I have to put it in 4-wheel drive already.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Turn the dome light on. There we go. Well, it's moving, so I think we fixed it.
Yep, I believe so. We're going up to scare all my deer. That's alright, maybe we'll scare that bear out here.
Yeah, we had a bear back in here. It's probably back here now.
Maybe not anymore.
No?
Don't go off the side of the hill.
Try not to. I can't see over the hood.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Are we going to the right?
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna want 4 low.
I'm in low.
Oh. Oh my God.
We flop it up here. Here's the tree right there. We can go back down. I'll back up over there. Slide. Yep. I'm standing on the dirt. We're gonna get rid of all that brush so we can end up going down there and then back up the hill over there. But right now we got a logger road that we're following. We should probably make sure it counts. Yeah, I'll do that out in the yard. hotter than 150.
No.
Because
I don't think mine's ever hit 100. Well, maybe.
well, the trans coolers that we have are pretty big.
Yep.
They're kind of overkill, honestly. Check the fluid. Alright, make sure the fluid's nice and good. Because the transit pipe is quite warm right now. Knows that it's alright. Low? Alright guys. Got back to the house, threw some more trans fluid in it. It was a touch low, it wasn't very low, but we topped it off with trans fluid. It's warm now, so it's a good fluid check. Threw some trans fluid in it. We're gonna go back out for another test drive, and hopefully it shifts a little better. It wasn't shifting very good from first to second. Maybe it's a shift solenoid, I'm not sure if it is. I got the extra trans right here I can take the shift solenoid out of, but hopefully that fixes it. Alright guys, test drive went okay. First gear works just fine, flawless like it always does. It does not like shifting from first to second gear whatsoever. It kind of drags on and eases into it. So I believe it's shift solenoid. Unfortunately, we are going to have to probably drop the exhaust again, take the pan out, and throw a new shift solenoid in it. I am going to use the solenoid out of this one because I know for a fact it is good. We're going to throw that in tomorrow. Alright guys. Working on the transmission right now. Had to pull the exhaust back off, cross member out to get the pan off. I am replacing a couple solenoids, some shift solenoids, the torque converter solenoid, almost all of them in the pan itself. Alrighty, we got the old trans torn down right now, and we got the shift solenoids out of that. I do know those are good because they worked just fine before this trans completely locked up. I am seeing a lot of metal in here. Not good. And all this is nasty stuff. So it was definitely kind of eating itself alive. And then down here we got mine torn down, which the pan looked pretty good out of that one. Clean them up a little more and then we'll slap them in that transmission and hopefully she's good to go. This is the old transmission that was originally in the Jeep. It's not looking so good. So I showed you guys what was in the valve body, but I forgot to show you guys the pan. This is the pan, and you can see just all this gunk in there. The fluid's pretty messy, and the layer of gunk on the magnet down there. I put my finger through it to show you. It's about a 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch thick of gunk on there. So something's definitely eating itself up in that transmission. I think it was slowly going out. It wasn't showing much symptoms except when we came out of that Walden's Ridge Trail, and then it wanted to just explode itself. That's where we're at right now. We're replacing some sensors. I'm gonna throw a servo in it while it's here. I just wanna get all the new stuff knocked out. We'll hopefully throw some fluid in it. Go take it for another test drive. We're gonna keep chugging along on it, and hopefully we can get it done soon.